sliceofsci-fi.com.
Hi, I'm Emma Green for Slice of Sci-Fi Shorts, and today I'm with co-director of Grounded, Barrett Meeker.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to learn about the movie some more, but I wanted to kind of get into who you are first.
Yeah, I'm an artist by trade. I've done CG, like computer cutscenes, for about 8 years, and Grounded was our first real short film, live action short film, and it was an amazing learning experience.
Okay, so what kind of made you go from CG and effects and being an artist into deciding to do shorts?
With CG cutscenes and everything, it takes a lot of people and a long time to make something that's just 5 minutes or something, and we wanted to do something that had a little bit more immediate feedback, that we could just go out and like shoot and then get something cool and basically like tell a story and make a film a lot quicker than we could if it was just all CG.
Okay, so I wanted to know, with Grounded specifically, what was the pull with that type of film?
Well, we wanted to play a little bit to our strengths, since we had been doing all of this CG, like sci-fi sort of like game cinematic stuff. We wanted to do something that we could use some of that knowledge in. So we wanted to do a sci-fi short film, and we're both like just really into sci-fi stuff, like Kubrick and like 2001: Space Odyssey, and so that's sort of why we went towards a sci-fi short film.
Okay, so how did you come to collaborate with Kevin?
We worked together at a studio called Blur Studio. It does that's where I was doing the CG cutscenes and everything. Like for 8 years, we've worked together, and so yeah, we both got like cameras, and we both sort of got into short film kind of thinking stuff at the same time, and decided to collaborate.
Were there any creative differences with the two of you coming together to do this?
Kevin kind of took the lead in terms of story and everything. And yeah, so and then when it came time to really shoot and put it together, we sort of split up the responsibility. So I ended up doing the directing, and Kevin ended up doing the camera work and a lot of the post and stuff.
So there was no difficulties there working together? You did blend that well? Yeah,
it seemed to work really well to me. I think especially like on the shooting days and everything, it went really smoothly. We did like a lot of pre-planning, like we kind of did previs for the whole thing, where I played the part of all of the characters, and Kevin did the camera work for that stuff, and we just did that in a mocap, like basically just a big empty room, and went through that, and then he did a rough edit, and then because I'd played the parts, I felt like it made sense for him to keep doing the camera work when it came time to actually do the real shoot, and I would then direct the actors.
And how do you feel directing actors was for you as an experience?
I felt like it was a little bit hard, but it was really cool too. One interesting part was the actor that played the older man in Grounded was my father.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Keeping it in the family, guys. That's a tip.
Yeah, so that was cheap. And the reason we sort of went with that is we were looking for outside actors for a while, but we weren't really going to be able to pay them much, and they were going to need to come out to the desert basically for a couple days, and they were going to need to rehearse, and we were going to be spending like quite a bit of money like going out on those days, and we really just didn't want to risk like having somebody that could possibly bail on us at the last minute, because they're just in it for, they're not getting paid anything, and so I knew that my father, like, while maybe he didn't have like acting experience, he would be there, and he would like take some direction, and it worked out really well. It was a little weird directing him, especially when it was like, okay, look stern, and then I would feel a little bit weirded out by him looking stern. I was like, whoa, he's upset.
I think that's every kid's favorite idea, to be able to boss their parents around. Oh, look, Dad, now you have to do what I say. Come on, you liked it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I think he did a really good job. I think he did a really good job. And he didn't really need much directing.
Yeah, I actually think that his part in the film was so resonant with the whole vibe of the film, and I just was so drawn in by him. Wait till you see it, it's fantastic. And I noticed that the father theme is something else that's involved with the film from Kevin's side of things.
Yeah, very much. Kevin's father passed away, and so there's that aspect of it, and it's sort of about like a cyclical father-son cycle of kind of passing things down and the same things happening again, like with each generation, and acceptance and various themes like that.
The part that we see with the father and son in the film was very much, it was a key symbolism point, I felt, in the film, and it was very touching, but at the same time it throws you back into that whole groundhog effect of this astronaut sort of being in limbo.
Yeah.
Explain that thought process to come up with that idea.
The idea was to show the sort of like the son character, the astronaut, trying to fit in with his father, but being kind of ultimately rejected, and basically being told, like, this isn't your role, this isn't for you, like, go back and like find your own path.
That's heavy. That's really heavy. But I think that it was told in such a remarkable way, and interestingly enough, told is probably not even the right word, because there are actually no words in the film. Why the choice of no dialogue?
One big reason is we hadn't really done dialogue before. We'd shot like a little tiny like test kind of like film before, and we did that with no dialogue, and so it seemed to make sense to kind of stick with what we know to some degree, and if we didn't need dialogue, you know, why throw that extra thing in there? And yeah, I think we were both fans of films that didn't have, you know, didn't rely heavily on dialogue. Like I said, like 2001 Space Odyssey, and like just had like quiet like moments and scenes.
Do you feel that the no dialogue and then relying more heavily on the sound effects, because the sound effects in this were really good, you know, when you were talking about the seeds, you really felt the seeds being right there just by the sound effects. Do you think that not having the dialogue heightened the vibe and the true feeling of the film?
Yeah, I mean, I think if there was dialogue, it would be very sparse, and as you said, like without dialogue, the sound effects stood out so much.
Honestly, loved seeing the way the effects were done. The glass cracking, brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant. Give us a little inside scoop there.
Yeah, so the glass breaking, that was pretty cool how we ended up doing that. We used like, it was like rubber cement basically, and we put that on the inside of these helmets because we rented these spacesuits, and like kind of expensive, and we can't just break the glass.
Sure, you can.
So we needed to figure out that look without actually breaking it, and so we took this like rubber cement and like put it on the inside of the glass, and then took your finger and like rolled it up and basically like spider webbed it, like it went into these like little rolls, and then from the outside it looked like it was like broken glass. It was like a broken glass pattern. We like sort of like carefully rolled it into.
So rubber cement made the effect of glass cracking, and when you see it, there's no way I believe him. It was very convincing, but that's a good thing.
Well, I should say like the actual scene where the glass cracks, that was CG. Like where the cracks in that scene are CG, but the cracks in the rest of the scenes where it's cracked is the rubber cement. For the wreckage pieces, there's a bunch of like crashed like spaceship wreckage stuff in the opening shots, and those were just car pieces. Like we went to a junkyard and like got a bunch of pieces and burned them with a torch and like made spaceship wreckage. It was pretty fun.
That sounds like horrible fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just to start wrecking stuff in the name of art.
Yeah,
it came off really effectively.
Yeah, it worked pretty well, and then we put fire over them, like fire effects and stuff, and that was all in the computer, like CG. And we heavily did color grading and everything, and I think that helped a lot.
You were in Death Valley, right?
Yeah, we shot sort of like three places. We shot first we shot in a parking lot with we got a big crane, and that's how we did the guy falling, the parachute scene. We had like a stunt people that like hoisted him up, and so we just shot him against the blue sky, basically. And then we shot in Death Valley, and then we shot at this like dry lake for the half grass, half dirt part. And one interesting thing is we bought, I think, like $200 worth of sod or something, and we took all the sod out to the dry lake bed and laid the sod out so that we had like a patch of grass like to shoot the actors with, and then the rest of the grass was CG.
That was really effective, because for a second then I really honestly thought you could have, depending on your budget, just planted a lot more grass than that. Good to know.
There's been a lot of grass. I don't know if Home Depot had that much.
So what are some of the things that you found challenging in this process for aspiring filmmakers out there that want to use a lot of CGI?
CG it's pretty hard. Like, it's pretty technical to put in there. Well, it can be fairly hard to track things. It takes a lot of sort of hand work to get everything to be working well with the CG and get everything synced up. Yeah, so I would say be very patient, have lots of time. Yeah, just try and be careful with your cameras. Don't move them around too much. If you can do lock shots, I always like lock shots, and it can save you a lot of work with CG tracking and everything. And be careful with your lighting, everything. Yeah, I feel like matching lighting is a huge part of it. Getting CG.
That's a really good tip, because that's something that I think a lot of people, they need to hear those guidelines, because you don't want to get to the end of everything you've shot and have those issues be in place.
Yeah. And one thing you can do is you can shoot a panoramic HDRI, where you shoot basically like a 360 of the environment and sky. You can either do that by having like a big chrome sphere, and then you like shoot the chrome sphere from different angles, or you can do it by having a pretty wide lens and like just basically rotating it around and like shooting all angles. And then once you get all those photos, like you can put them together into an HDRI like image, and then light your CG using that. And that, I wouldn't say that like it's just a plug and play kind of thing, like that will automatically get you there, but it can help you at least like get close.
What advice do you have people that are actually filmmakers but also want to get their films in the festivals?
Yeah, I would say just send a bunch out. And one thing you have to be careful of is some film festivals won't accept you if you've already been shown at other film festivals. There's like some weird, tricky things where if you've already been shown in 2 other countries at film festivals accepted to them, then this film festival won't take you anymore. And it's usually the big film festivals that have these sort of like interlocks about what they will and will not do, and that's pretty tricky. Otherwise, just send it out to a bunch of film festivals after you check out the interlocks and see how much you care about them. Yeah. Do
your homework. Read the fine print, people. Definitely read the fine print. So with the festivals and the recognition and the accolades that you guys have received from this, what does that mean moving forward?
If we do another one, we'll be able to maybe get a little more press, or get a little more like people on board. Like maybe we could do a Kickstarter and get people, or
future is looking bright. Thank you very much for joining us today, and everyone look out for more from Barrett. I'm Emma Green for Slice of Sci-Fi Short.
Sliceofsci-fi.com